Is your child talking about race and ethnicity at home? We hope so. It is more than okay for children to notice race and be able to discuss it and other observations they may have. It is one of the first, if not the very first things we notice when we see someone. As an ABAR school, we are no longer being color blind, but learning to be color brave. We want children, and all others, to see our color, understand our differences, and be able to accept those differences. This year, Primary 1 decided to discuss skin color for Black History Month. They talked about how all the children in their classroom look different, and how even two children who we think appear similar are different as well. They discussed how two Black children can have different complexions, just as two white children can have different complexions. They also studied primary colors, and how mixing these colors together can make different colors. Through trial and error, they tried mixing all three colors, and sometimes with other colors, to make their own skin colors. They all enjoyed mixing colors and getting to make a mess while learning. More importantly, even the youngest children understood the goal of this activity, and they did their best to make their own complexions. Miss Shannon and Miss Amy love that they are able to use themselves as Black and white guides as examples of how two people who look so different are able to be kind and respectful toward one another. They challenge you to try this activity at home. Happy Black History Month from Primary 1. This year, Primary 2 students celebrated Black History Month with an emphasis on ways to keep moving. They took inspiration from the Winter Olympics and enjoyed studying the amazing achievements of Black athletes. They invited Stanley Cup-winning hockey player Jamal Mayers, an outspoken advocate for bringing hockey to Black communities, to Zoom with them, and they asked him some pretty impressive questions. Did you ever fight in your games? Did you ever get hurt? Did any of your white teammates ever not believe in you? Did anyone ever say mean things to you? Jamal encouraged them to follow their dreams no matter what they may be. He talked about the importance of working hard to achieve your goals. He also spoke about the importance of white allies in achieving racial equity in hockey. Jamal excitedly showed us his children's book, Hockey is for Me. The students in Primary 2 kept moving to the beat during a presentation of African drumming, storytelling, and singing. They were all delighted by Kenya Waney's magical and energetic performance. The children clapped, bounced, and sang with exuberance. Finally, each child chose a sport to highlight in a mini photo shoot. We hope each child feels empowered to dream big, try hard things, support one another, and most of all, keep moving. In Primary 3, Miss Christina and Mr. Nick focused on famous African Americans in science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. They asked parents and guardians to read highlights of famous African Americans. Students in Primary 3 enjoyed storytellers Bobby Norfolk and Kenya Waney. They also enjoyed the STEAM activities provided by Bricks for Kids. They created amazing paintings utilizing eggs, and they will be creating a butterfly garden soon. Primary 3 is a class full of sensational scientists.
Hi friends, so Lucas and I are reading about Leland Melvin, a Black astronaut. And in Leland's life, he found that no plan is fixed, but that hard work and dedication allowed him to reach new heights. Say, meet Leland Melvin, everybody.
Meet everybody.
Leland Melvin.
Leland Melvin.
All right.
Stephen Johnson, a mathematician.
All right. Judging by the way Catherine took to math, you would think it was her first language. As a child, she counted everything. She skipped 7 grades and graduated ahead of her older siblings. As a young woman, she became a math teacher, but her mentor at the University of West Virginia encouraged her to pursue her career as a research mathematician. In 1953, Catherine got her chance. NASA's Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia, had recently opened a lab that hired African American mathematicians. In a time before there were digital calculators, cell phones, or computer machines, the women and men who performed the computations were called computers. Catherine's first assignment was to the Flight Research Division. The United States was in the middle of the space race.
That's where we live.
Yeah. A period of time.
I thought you were going to say United States of America.
Well, yeah, the United States is the United States of America. They were in the middle of a space race, which is a period of time in the 1950s and 60s where America and Russia were competing for technological advancement in spaceflight. The top goal was to get a man to the moon. Catherine was one of the people who made it happen. Her job was to calculate the flight path for the first mission in space. Imagine, the Earth is rotating, the moon is revolving, and a rocket has to follow a very specific trajectory in order to reach a moving target.
And she did it?
Yeah. Even when mechanical computers were introduced, Catherine was still crucial. She continued computing at NASA until her retirement in 1986, and her work influenced every major space program up to that point. During the Friendship 7 mission in 1962, John Glenn, the first American to orbit the Earth, refused to launch without verification that Catherine herself double-checked the math. In 2015, President Barack Obama awarded Catherine the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is America's highest civilian honor.
In addition to the other preschool classrooms, primary 4 and 5 attended storytelling with Bobby Norfolk and Kenya Waney. They also listened to Scott Joplin and Chuck Berry music and learned about how they were pioneers in the discovery of new types of music in our country. They painted and danced to both artists, and they also completed a coloring page on Scott Joplin. In addition to reading stories from Black authors about Black historical figures, the children in Primary 6 had the privilege to hear from storytellers Bobby Norfolk and Baba Kenya. They heard the African folk tales of Anansi, the mischievous spider, and the tortoise and the elephant. They also participated in several call and responses. Afterwards, the children returned to their classroom to create their favorite characters from the stories they had just heard. First, they used black marker and paper, where several students made spiders and webs, while other students drew bunnies and dark houses. The following week, the children had the opportunity to model using beeswax. Many of the children chose to create tortoises and elephants with the wax. Seeing them explore their creativity after hearing such engaging storytellers was an interesting way to see them stretch their comprehension and understanding.